It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, little flock. I got some really good soul food for the little flock today. So if you're hungry, gather around, because we got plenty. If you're thirsty, come on and get you something to drink, because we got some great soul food that's going to be served here at the School of Marvelous Light today. Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 11. Isaiah 11, we're going to start at verse 1. While you guys are looking there, I've taught about this a few times before, but this message, like I say, is going to be very delicious because it's going to be more in depth than I've ever taught about it and more plain, I guess you could say, than I've made it before. And how it affects you, me, the man that I am, and the work that I am doing, how it affects you as the little flock. There's no need in listening to me here at the School of Marvelous Light and then look at the world you live in and think that this has anything to do with that world. It doesn't. It has to do with you. So don't worry about what's going on out there in the world, because the world is enemies with God and his people. You see it? They're enemies. Abba said that the world is going to suffer a plague because they decided to fight against Jerusalem, which is his chosen city, which is where his chosen people dwell. You see that? There's a plague that comes with fighting against them. And so, like I said, this has nothing to do with the world. You could expect them to actually fight against me and what I'm saying. But as for you who are resonating with this truth, there's a reason why that is. There's a reason why you're here listening, especially you who consistently come and listen diligently, waiting for the next meal to be served. You see, there's a reason why you have that feeling. There's a reason why you are waiting with that anticipation. You see it? There's a reason for it. One reason is that must mean that I got something that I got to serve. You see, you wouldn't have any anticipation or any waiting if you didn't expect to get something. You go to the restaurant, you put your order in, and you patiently wait for the waiter to come and bring it to you. But you wait with anticipation and wondering what it's going to be like, what it's going to taste like. If you have that feeling here at the School of Marvelous Light, there's a reason for it. So don't worry about what the world is thinking and what the world got going on and how strange what we saying over here is, because just as in the days of Noah, you hear that, little flock? It's just as in the days of Noah, people went along doing whatever they normally do, and they were unaware of the work that Abba is doing, just like they were unaware of the work that Abba was doing through Noah. Now, if everybody had done what Noah did, then they would have got the results Noah got, which is salvation, saving from judgment, saving from the wrath to come. There's a way and there is a work that must be done to be saved, and you have to partake in that work. That's why he said the laborers are few. You see, most people don't know of the work. They labor in vain, just like the scriptures say they do. And we're going to talk about all of that today, little flock. So like I said, put your napkin in your neck, get your fork in your hand, your spoon, and whatever else you plan on eating with. Get ready. You know, like you about to eat some cereal, but you're real hungry. So you get that big ass mixing bowl and that big dumb ass spoon. You don't get no regular little spoon and no little bowl. You're like, man, I'm about to have to keep coming back to this box. Let me just get the big ass bowl and pour half the box in there. And we'll start there and see where we end. Y'all know how that is, right? So let's get into these scriptures. Isaiah 11, verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Isn't that interesting alone? That a branch is growing from the root of the tree? Don't you guys know that branches grow off of the true vine? That's why Yahusha said, I am the true vine, and ye are the branches. That's why he said it, because it goes together. But this branch in particular doesn't grow from the true vine. He grows from the same place Yahusha grows from. Do you understand that? Did you know that, and had you heard that before? All right then. Now, to prove this point, I've used this same little tree here. I'm going to use you again, buddy. Thank you for helping the School of Marvelous Light learn this simple concept. This is the true vine of the tree. Those obviously are the branches. Isn't that easy to understand? But if we come down to the root, which is this part right here, this is the root. Don't we see a branch growing? Don't we see a branch that's cut growing from the root next to the true vine? We do. So when you read the scriptures and you read about what Yahushua says about sending one, and he says, I shall send him, and in another place he says, my Father shall send him. Well, if you and your Father are one, let's go back to the tree real quick. If you and your Father are one, then that means you're here. You and your Father are one. And then there's one growing from the same source. I shall send him, my Father shall send him in my name. So pay attention to this word, grow up. Because remember, he was cut. That branch is the grandson Abel. So he's a unique progenitor of a nation amongst the nation of what we call today Israel. He's unique. He's on the side. He's set apart. He's holy. Can you understand that? His bloodline is. So now when he returns or grows up out of his place, then now he's going to lay claim to his heritage. Don't you hear it, little flock? He's going to lay claim to the throne that was held back from him when he was killed or when he was cut off. Do you understand it? You see? So now this scripture is going to make really good sense as you read it now. You see? So we see that branch, or a rod, he calls him, grows out of the root. So he's from the Father. I shall send him from the Father. The Father shall send him. You see how Yahushua was saying that? Now, what about this guy? And the Spirit, verse 2, the Spirit of I am shall rest upon him. Stop. It didn't say it's going to come to him. It didn't say it will fall upon him. It said rest. That means it ain't going anywhere. So now the question has been answered that Yahushua was asking. Can you guys hear this? Yahushua asked a question. He said, where shall the Son of Man lay his head? When you lay your head, what do you call that? You call that resting. The Son of Man is the Spirit that we're reading about here. So the Spirit had nowhere to rest. Well, now we have read that it has found a place. Isn't that what we're reading here, little flock? So do you understand what I mean about why you need to pay attention to this and how it pertains to you? And why you're even here listening to this man who happens to know how to break this down to you? Okay, continuing. The Spirit of I am shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding. See what I mean about being able to break this down to you? In plain terms, see, somebody can explain something to you, but you may not be able to understand it because they're explaining it in a very complicated way. And the reason why they explain it in a very complicated way is because they don't really truly understand it fully. They just know about it enough to tell you. There's a lot of people like that in the faith, or so-called faith. A lot of Christians like that. And Yahushua going to talk about them as we go through this message. They profess it with their mouth, but their heart is far from you. So you really don't know from the heart what you're talking about. But a true Jew is a one from the heart. So once a true, stands up, he's going to speak from the heart the words. You see that there, and they will be true. So he will speak it to you very plainly, as we read yesterday, because that means he understands it in depth. So it's easy for him to explain it, like I'm doing today with this message today. It's not hard for me to do it. It's very easy to do it, very light. Why? Because the Spirit of wisdom, the Spirit of might, the Spirit of understanding, see there, little flock, which is the things that he told us all to ask for. Continuing, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and the fear of I am. See that there, little flock? And he shall make him Who is the he? The Spirit. Shall make him, which is the rod or the branch out of Jesse. That's a particular bloodline. You see it? Jesse is the father of David. So I hope you guys can understand this. Watch what I'm going to tell you. Yahusha is synonymous with David, or in other words, David is a type of Yahusha. He is called beloved. That is his name. That's what Dawad or Dawada means. It means beloved. So David is a type of Yahusha, the beloved. And that's why Abba said the same words to David that he said to Yahusha. This is my beloved son. You see it? And he was a king. He set a king over the unified nation of Israel, which is the northern and southern kingdoms. Make Israel. Without the northern kingdoms, you just have Judah. And if you just have Judah, you don't have a complete house. You don't have a full house or a family. Now, recently, and not too long ago, a few months ago, I stumbled upon a staff that Abba dropped down and gave to me. A very unique staff. And I've showed it to you guys, and I showed you what was written upon it. What's written upon that staff that I carry, guys? I could go show it to you, but I'd rather you guys that know it be able to flow with me through this message, because I know there are some who don't know what I'm talking about. But those who have been following, who were with me when I found the staff, they know this is true. It says, for Joseph and his companions, and Ephraim and the whole house of Israel. That's what the one half of the stick says. And if you turn the other side, you'll see it says, for Judah and his companions, for the whole house of Judah, unified in one stick. That's what it says upon the stick that I carry. You understand that? We're going to get into why that's the case. Why I, the man who we're talking about today, is the one carrying that staff. It's too accurate of a thing to involve with this man once you read about him. To have made it up. You see what I'm saying to you, little flock? This message is about assurance. That's why it's a feel-good message. It's about assurance of why you're here and what you've been hearing and all the doubts that you had going back and forth with me and listening to me and whether I'm true or whether I'm real or maybe I'm some charlatan or maybe I'm some heretic or you're going back and forth and being double-minded. Be no more double-minded after this message. I don't see how you could be. All right? Because it's all coming from the word, so it's not like it's coming from me. So we see that this branch that grows gets all of these gifts from Abba. This spirit of wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, knowledge, fear of I am. Quick understanding. Now watch this. And he shall judge, verse 3, he shall not judge, after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. So he's not going to correct anybody based off of what he has heard about the person. You see? And he's not going to judge a thing based off of how it looked. Why? Because Yahusha does it that way. They were on the boat screaming, saying we're all going to die, and Yahusha was asleep. See? So he's not judging by what he sees or hears. He's proved that right there. You see? So then why would the branch do anything different? If he's from the same source, Yahusha is. Wouldn't the grandson be from the same grandfather that the son is from? See what I mean about the accuracy of these Legos that I stack upon one another? I mean, can't you see it? How many speakers have you heard? How many teachers out of the Word of God have you heard be able to tell you who they are from the Word of God with such great accuracy as this? While they're also teaching you from the Bible. It's not like they're saying, this is me, this is me, this is me, and they don't have any lessons to teach. I've taught thousands of lessons, as well as who I am. And I tell you who I am so that your faith will increase and your boldness will increase in the truth. There's no other reason why I tell you. But there's some scriptures here that are going to explain to you why I would. Watch this, verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity, fairness, for the meek of the earth. See what I mean? Not a worldly, not concerned with the worldly. Yahushua said, I am not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So what do you think I'm doing? I'm only sent to the lost sheep of my nation, which are those people standing in a certain mountaintop with the Lamb. That's the nation. And we're going to get into that too, about this nation, okay? And he shall smite the earth. Smite means to beat, to smack, punch, kick, hit. The earth with the rod of his mouth. See that there? He's going to talk. Now, just to stack another Lego up on this conversation we're having. When I was married back a few years and moons ago, I was laying asleep one day next to my wife in the bed, and I was having a dream. And in this dream, I heard my wife talking to someone. They were whispering back and forth. I couldn't hear what the other someone was saying, and I couldn't really hear what she was saying. I could just hear them talking. And it was just pitch black in the dream. I couldn't see. So as I approached closer to where I heard the voices, then I could see my wife. Her back was turned to me. She was talking to someone, but I could not see the figure who she was talking to. She was just standing there in the black talking. But I could hear someone else talking to her. And I heard the other person say to her, "You must kill him." And she said, "Why?" And the other voice said, "Because he will talk." Now, I'm divorced. Now, I don't know if you guys can actually hear that. I had that dream when we were married. We're no longer married. And I told you what was said in the dream. Kill him or he will talk. So why are you afraid, devil, of this particular man talking? Would it be just read? See? He shall smite the earth with his mouth. That's the rod. That's the authority he has. This is why I tell you, how come don't nobody else teach you what I teach you? Even though I am in humble surroundings. Well, what would Yahusha be like? Humble, or would he be proud? See how the branch is going to be just like the true vine? He shall remind you of what I taught you. That don't mean just with his mouth. It also means what he do. He's going to remind you of me. Look how plain he is. Look how he's always the same. He changes not. That's because the true vine and the root change not. So the branch don't change neither. Look how he's the same. Look how it's the same energy every time we listen to him. Look how it's the same accuracy. Look how it's the same potency. Look how it's the same authority. Do you hear this, little flock? And you may be saying, "Grandson, why are you telling us all this? This is about you." It's about you. If you keep listening, you'll see that. All right. So with the rod of his mouth, guess what else about his mouth? And with the breath of his lips, he shall slay the wicked. Do you see why he says, don't let that man talk? Can you guys hear this or what? Don't let that branch open his mouth and talk. That's the rod he has. Now, did you guys read Revelation? Well, if you didn't, we'll get into that later and refresh your memory. Okay. Now, that was verse 4. So his mouth is going to do some damage to the earth and the wicked on it. Isn't that what we read? Okay. Verse 5. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, the grandson of righteousness, the grandson of right thinking, the grandson of right thought. There's another Lego stacking up there, guys. Righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. Faithfulness is why he puts reins on himself. The reins that you need to put on. Watch how I'm just going to break it down to you so you don't have any doubt about the truth of what I'm saying about who I am. The reins that pull on you are the restraint that you have when the beast tries to lure you to succumb to one of the 7 deadly sins. It requires faith for you to overcome that beast because you have to have something you hope for, or he will try to give you something in between. And that something he gives you is just death. It's something hateful. I'll give you an example of what I mean. You have a dog and he's just a puppy and he's shitting in the house. He's not potty trained yet. He's just a puppy. So he's still got a lot to learn. He's chewing on shit. He's tearing shit up. Well, you're going to say, "You're a bad dog." I want you to hear that, little flock. You're a bad dog. Maybe he's a good dog, but it hasn't been made manifest yet. So then if you seek him being a good dog by faith and not by his works and what he's doing right now, then you'll get what you sought for. You'll get a good dog. If you say, "You just made a mistake, but you're a good dog. You're just falling short, but you're a good dog." It doesn't change that you're a good dog because you shit it. You just have to learn. So let me be patient. Let me infuse love into our relationship. Because I faithfully hope that I will see the evidence one day that you're a good dog, even though I don't have the evidence. It's not seen right now. See how I can break that down for you like that? That's because faithfulness is the girdle of my reins. It's how I do it. So then I'm only telling you from the heart what I do. And from me doing it, I have exercised power over the enemy. So then I'm telling you to do it. He's only giving you a temporary idea for you to latch on to. He's a bad dog. No, he's just being bad right now. Doesn't mean he's bad. He's still a good dog. So don't lie on him. Don't speak vanity of who he is. See what I'm trying to say? They're little flockulators. Alrighty then. Well, that dog, the same principle goes for you. Don't speak vanity of you and your circumstances you're going through because of how they temporarily seem. That's not faith living. So your reins, you don't have any now. So now watch what I'm saying. When you don't have the faithful reins, now a circumstance comes to your life that presents itself to you to make you lash out in anger and wrathfulness. Not righteous anger and indignation, but wrathfulness and evil wrath. You see? It wants you to lash out. If you do not have faith, see what I'm saying to you, of what you hope for, then you accept what you look at and then you give in to what the beast tells you. Lash out. Can't you see what they're doing? You give out, you have no reins, you let go. And this goes for any addiction that a person may be suffering today. Anything holding you down, that's what it is. He's offering it to you, and then you go, fine, I'm lonely, so I have to give in and feel some kind of comfort. See how you're telling yourself you don't have it? You don't have comfort? So I'll seek it in this temporary feeling. It's only going to be temporal, and you're going to feel worse after. You're going to feel worse after. Watch, I'm going to give you an example of this while we're on this subject. I didn't think I'd speak about it, but since we're on the subject, I will. David had a son, and this son, I believe his name was Amnon, loved his sister and wanted to have sex with her. And he was just wanted her, his half-sister. And he conceived a plan with his friend. His friend gave him some advice and counseled him on how to deceive her to think he was ill so that she would come check on him. And when she come to check on him, you take her and lay with her. That's what his friend said. So that's what David's son did. And it says that the love wherewith he had for her, after he had laid with her, he hated her more than he ever loved her. I need you little flockulators to hear that there. So then what was Satan alluring Amnon with? Lust. Lust. And he gave into it. And when he ate the fruit of it, he hated it worse than he had ever desired it. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can hear the wisdom. Like I said, the wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, and all that stuff that's coming out of the school of marvelous light. Okay? Now continuing. All right, it says, verse 6, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. Stop. So now you see all these examples of predator and prey now dwelling in harmony with one another. That would be called a new earth. Why? Because their branch has stood up. Didn't I say earlier this applies to you? It's like a guy yawned, woke up from a nap and opened his eyes and said, I am. And that moment of him doing that represents a whole brand new earth being birthed. Him being birthed represents a newness being birthed because he's the father of a new. He's the beginning of a new. Told you, he's set apart. Abel. He's never fathered his offspring. Well, he's going to once he wakes up. Can you guys hear that there? You see? So now we see this big change coming when this man stands up and smites the earth and kills the wicked. We see this big change happening. Watch verse 9. And they shall not hurt, all of these animals and beings you heard described there, they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy what? Mountain. You guys hear that there? So that's where I keep telling you guys I am. Not where I'm going, not where I would like to be. It's where I am. Zion is the name of it. And I'm looking for all the other Zionim. That's who I'm sent to. The other Zionim. The other guys that got the seal of God that need to come up upon Zion and be standing there with Yahusha, the Lamb. You see it there, little flockulators? He just said it. In all my holy mountain. What is this holy mountain's name? It's called Mount Zion. Like I told you guys, and I even made a song about it, saying we're on our way. We're headed back to Zion. Who else would be saying that and singing this new song other than the Moses or the leader with the staff leading the people back home again? On our way, heading back to Zion. Took me out of my land, told me I wasn't no man, till I found out that God chose us, and now I'm doing all that I can to grab my brothers and sisters. Israel, I miss you, but I guarantee that we going home. My big bro made it official. Came down from above. He taught me how to love. That Ruach HaKodesh came upon me like a dove. He told me be patient for a minute. My Abba coming to get us. Just keep watching for that lion. He gonna lead us back to Zion. Hey, on our way, heading back to Zion. Now, what did you see that came out my heart there? Where them words come from for me to say that in that song? Where do you think they came from? All right. They shall not hurt nor destroy on my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of I am. Because who smote the earth with his mouth? I did. And what comes out of my mouth? I am. Is that not what I have taught you all, flockulators, here at the School of Marvelous Light? Matter of fact, the term little flock, where did it come from? Watch this, little flock. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of I am, as the waters cover the sea. A flood, see? And in that day, see how it's connected to this same guy? That's why I need to tell it to you, because all of the creation groaning, waiting for the manifestations of you guys. But you won't be manifested until the ensign stands up. He got to stand up first. That's me. See how that's going? Watch. And in that day, watch, there shall be a root of Jesse, we just read that earlier, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. Ensign of the people. And to it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. His rest shall be glorious. Who? That branch from the root. He's going to rest after he does the work that he does. What's the work? Standing up as an ensign for the nation. People, it says. That means nation. Okay, well, let's see what the word ensign means so you guys can get a more in-depth understanding of why Abba said that word, why he used that word in particular. All right? Ensign. An ensign is a flag or standard, especially a military or naval one, indicating what? Nationality. Some synonyms of ensign: flag, standard, banner, streamer. You see that? Liberum. You hear these words? Okay. So an ensign is a flag that stands and represents a nation of people, because that's what the ensign is. That's what an ensign is, excuse me. That's what it is. It is a standard or a flag. So this man standing up, see, is a standard or a flag being lifted up, which represents the birth of a nation of people. Can't you hear it today, little flock? Is it not written, shall a nation be born in one day? Is that possible to happen? Why is that written in there if it's not about the birth of a nation? And that nation is called Zion. I told you, I'm sent to the Zionim. You see it? The unified nation of Israel. That's why they're sealed, standing up there on that mountain. Israelites are. But there's an ensign standing there from Jesse. That's the branch. You see it? And he's standing up for that purpose. You see? All right. Watch this. So now, that ensign standing up, what does it mean for the other Zionites or Zionim? The other inhabitants of his nation, what does it mean for his people? Watch. Him standing up and talking, what does it represent? Let's see. Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day. What day? When he stand up. So the same time frame, and when he's standing up, what is God going to do while he's preaching and walking around teaching you all these beautiful messages that I do teach and revealing all the mysteries that I do reveal? While I'm doing that, what will Abba be doing? Let's see. And it shall come to pass in that day that I am shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. Start there real quick. Why did it say Assyria? Where did the northern kingdom go off into bondage to? Assyria. And they never came back. Well, it says here he's going to extend his hand to recover them when the branch stands up. See why I'm telling you? Why you got to know who I am? Why it's imperative that y'all understand what I'm doing? God's saying it. Watch this. He shall set his hand again the second time. So he did this the first time, didn't he? When he took them out of Egypt. He's going to do it again. Where are they scattered to? Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath, and the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. See? So what's the ensign? The flag. It's the grandson of right thought. Gather unto him so that you can hear what he has to tell you, so that you can be saved. Just like Noah's day. It's no different. Noah knew the remedy. He knew the solution. So had he shared it with others and they did it, then they would be saved. But they refused to listen. You see? And most of the world is not going to listen here. That's why there's only 144,000 standing there. See? Now, watch this little flag. In case you think I'm bullshitting here, I said that the 144,000 say that Abba's name is I am, and they walk in that power of that name now. They no longer take it in vain. They fear the name now. That's what I say. Now, any member that says that they are a Zionite, that says that they are standing on Mount Zion with the seal, they have to say what I just said, or they're a liar. You hear how powerful that is, little flock, to know that? That's what I'm telling you all. What I'm saying out of my mouth is what everybody else must do to stand on that mountain. You must. You can't do anything other than what I'm telling you to do. Or if you want to stand where I'm standing. You see it? Now, how do you know I'm standing there? By faith. Now shall the Son of Man find faith. That's what he's just said all through the scriptures, guys. Come on now. Watch this here. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah. See the two? Like the staff that Abba gave me from the four corners of the earth, from scattered all over the earth. He said, assemble them. That means put them together again. Oh, when? When he sets up his ensign, which is the flag. See it there? The standard you must come to enter. There's a standard. He's going to tell you what the standard is. The ensign is. Come on, guys. Is it hard to understand this or what? Watch this. 13. Watch what I mean about the two nations of Israel coming together and being one again. And that's why he gave me that stick that says that on it. Okay? The envy also of Ephraim shall depart. So the thing that they had that kept them from being unified has now been removed. Okay? And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. So the thing that was holding them back from entering into this brotherly love covenant with their brothers has now been removed as well. Now watch this. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So the fighting that the two nations had is now over with. When the ensign stands up. So I don't know if you guys can hear this. You guys all want to be saved, but yet when I'm telling you the time frame exactly of when that's occurring, no one wants to believe that. Well, then believe the word of God, because that's what it says. Don't worry about what I'm telling you unless it's lining up with what this says. And I'm only telling you what this says. Now, according to what the Bible says, When will God save his people and unify them as a nation again, no longer hating each other and going back and forth and light skin, dark skin, and good hair and bad hair and all that bullshit? That is going to be removed. Envying and shit and vexing. Yeah, you're light skinned, so you look better, or your hair is better, or you're dark skinned, so you're this, or you're that, and this and that, and you're taller, or you're shorter, or your nose is wider, or your lips are fatter. That's envying and vexing, isn't it? That's going to all be removed. But you guys all know that as Israelites, you have experienced that from your own people. You know it. So then why act shocked when God says when he will tear it apart and give you a new relationship of brotherly love? Why do you doubt that part? Because you seek it by eyes. I'm going to teach you how not to seek it with your eyes. How do you seek a peaceful relationship with your brother without looking with your eyes? If your brother wants to punch you in your mouth, how do you overcome that? I've told you all how to do it. I gave you a story of when I did it. Like I said, I'm not going back to have to tell you guys that story again. I told you guys exactly of how I did it, what I used to do it, and how it worked. And it did not fail me, and it never has. It always works. I can build a peaceful relationship with a man who wants to tear my head off. I have done it. So then who are you to tell me it's not possible? Well, that's what the world do. It only goes by what it sees. I don't. I could have looked at that man and said, you're so angry and so pissed off. There's no need in me trying to make peace with you, so I won't. That's a faithless ass bitch, which I ain't. Faithfulness is the girdle of my reins. That's why I be the way I am. Tell me what, world? What you say? You see my attitude? Can't you understand why it's like that? I'm sovereign. What did it say? An ensign represents a nationality, a new one. Abel's bloodline of righteousness. He said it's going to require the righteous blood of Abel. That's what he said. Continuing. Watch this here. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west, and they shall spoil them of the east together. See that? Together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, just jacking the nations up. You see this here? And the children of Ammon shall obey them. Obey who? Israel. So Israel then turned into a juggernaut. That's what happens when you step into the power of I am, which is your nationality, your sovereignty. That's why I told you guys, when they come saying, hey, man, this is going to happen to you, like they told me that they're going to do to me, they're going to lock me down for a certain amount of time, like I've told this story, I said, no, you're not. This is what's happening. And I used God's name. I didn't use any notes. I didn't call a lawyer. I didn't get me any type of defense. I didn't call out for any help. I didn't call my mommy to send me any commissary money. Matter of fact, I didn't call anyone. I didn't make one phone call. I didn't ask any person for no damn help. I knew where my help was, and so I went there for it, and it delivered me. So you guys think I'm bullshitting by telling you that? Well, then go ahead. Go ahead and reach for your pen. Go ahead and reach for your money when problems come, because God said it won't deliver you. I told you what will, just like Noah did in his day. But niggas don't want to listen. But the little flockulators will listen. So you better do what the grandson is telling you. That's what God said. He's the ensign that you will seek. That's what it says, doesn't it? All right, then. The question is, can you recognize the branch when you see him? That's the question. Now, if you saw this video and heard me teach about this message about the branch, then go out and look for him. And when you find him, let me know and bring him here to me. Right? And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, verse 15. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river and shall smite it in 7 streams and make men go over dry shod, just like he did the first time in Egypt. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. The same damn thing. So when he came out of Egypt, who came with Moses? Who believed and by faith left and came with him? A bunch of Israelites and a mixed multitude. So shall it be now. That's why it says to Judah, to when Shiloh come, to him shall the gathering of the people be. But then it says here in Isaiah that the Gentiles shall seek. See? So when Israel unifies and becomes a powerful nation, the Gentiles are going to want to enter into that nation. How do I know? Ruth did that. You ever read the book of Ruth? Read it. That's what she did. She was a Moabite. But she said, your God is my God and your people are my people. That's what she said. And so she became part of the maternal line of King David and Yahusha. Ruth did, who was a Moabitess. But she gave up her idols. She gave up her kin. She gave up her life for a new life as an Israelite. And so shall it be now. There are people of other nations that are coming to me saying, grandson, I am just grateful to be grafted into what you actually are, because you are dribbling the ball between your legs, behind your back, jumping up in the air, doing a backflip and dunking that shit, talking about he's heating up like NBA Jam. The ball's going to light on fire and no one can stop you. So I want that shit too. I want to be down with that shit. Y'all see that there? Just like in Egypt, when the people saw that damn Israelites getting fucked up, they darkness all around them. Firstborn dying, livestock dying, niggas got lice, frogs jumping all around, water turning into blood. I'm getting the hell out of the world. I'm going where those people are going. Their God is, woohoo, he'll tear your ass up if you don't submit to him. Shit, I'm going with the Israelites' God. That's why Ruth had to say both. Your people are my people. Your God is my God. Do you hear it, little flockulators? Do you hear it? All right. So now let's go to the book of Zechariah. Let's go to the book of Zechariah chapter 6. All right. We're going to start at verse 11. Zechariah chapter 6, verse 11. Then take silver and gold and make crowns and set them upon the head of Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, Malachi Sadek, Jehozadak. You see the same word, Sadek? What does Sadek mean? Righteousness. Can you hear it there? Grandson of right thought. So then if I'm the grandson of right thought, then that means I'm the son of right thought. Because the son and the father, the grandfather that would be, are one. So then I'm the son of right thought. Okay, now watch this here, little flock. Right thought is translated in Hebrew, Sadek. Jehozadak. I am righteous. That's what Jehozadak means. I am righteous. Okay, so we see his son, whose name I am salvation, or I am saving, or I am the savior. That's what Joshua means. He is the son of right thought. So it's a code. God is telling you that the branch, the man whose name is the branch, is the son of right thought. But he's the branch, so that makes him the grandson, because he's a rod from the stem. So he's a grandson named after the grandfather. Isai. That's how you say Jesse. Isaiah is my name. You guys are screwing around with these Legos that I keep connecting. Can you connect them? Am I struggling to connect them? Why is that? Why? All right, now watch. Watch this here. So take them and put them on Joshua's head and speak unto him, saying, thus speaketh I am of armies. Okay? Saying, behold the man. So who's speaking? I am is speaking. The Lord is speaking. Saying, behold the man whose name is the branch. All capitals. And he shall grow up out of his place. See what I mean about growing up? See how it says it again? His place is that stump that's cut. Does not the Bible say he shall grow from the stump? A stump had to have been cut. So what stump was cut? Abel's. It didn't grow into a vine. It was supposed to, because he's the vine. He's the son of his father who was killed. You see it? So it was a stump there. But killing him didn't stop a damn thing. As you can see, the regeneration of Yahusha made what I'm doing today possible. And he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of I am. See it? School of Marvelous Light. The temple of I am, this is where you hear the words coming out of. Now, what does a temple mean? What does a temple represent? It represents a holy place where God comes down and dwells in, where you can inquire to him of what you need to be delivered of, and he will answer you there. It happened many times in Israel's history. They would go to the temple, consult the Most High, fall at the altar, the mercy seat, and Abba would answer, and he would answer with his presence. You see? So now we're going to see that this branch builds a temple. Well, that's what makes this available. Like I told you, the words of truth cannot come out of a body that has not been reformed. Y'all can't understand that? Okay, I hope you can. So we're going to get into that more depth. That's why I'm hitting on it right now, about building this temple. Okay, he's a builder. That's the point I want you to hear. He's building, and he has some skills to be a builder. So let's continue. And he shall build the temple of I am. Even he, see how it says it again? Even he shall build the temple of I am. What else? And he shall bear the glory and shall sit and rule upon his throne. And the counsel of peace shall be between them both. You see that? He shall be a priest and a king. Melchizedek is such. He was called the high priest, and he's also called the king of Salem. Melchizedek. That's why Abraham gave a percentage to Melchizedek, because before Abraham was, I am Abel. Was a high priest picked first. Read Genesis and see. If he built an altar and put a sacrifice on it, and it was pleasing and accepted, that means you're a high priest. Only a priest can offer sacrifices on an altar. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. See why his name is Josedek, his daddy? See why it's put there like that? Alrighty. So now, he says he's going to sit and rule upon his throne. So we got another attribute about this branch that stands up with all of these spiritual gifts upon him. He's going to sit and rule upon a throne. You see it? Well, why do you think he's holding that flag of his nation? Okay. Now we're going to go to 1 Corinthians. You know how we do old and new to make it sure. See? This is what I'm doing is building, isn't it? I'm constructing a lesson before your mind's eye with the word of God. And I'm picking blocks from different places to build it up so that you can see it. That's what I'm doing right now. You see it? Because I'm a builder. We're going to get into that. Watch. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, start at verse 16. Know ye not that you are the temple of El, and that the spirit of El dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of love, him shall God destroy. Love destroy. For the temple of love is holy, which temple ye are. So now that we know that the temple is actually your body, do you understand what it means about the branch shall build the temple? He shall build his body in an acceptable altar. God accept his offering, which is his body. You are a living sacrifice, y'all. Your altar is your heart. So you offer yourself to him. And if it's acceptable, he will come into the temple, like you have always read in the Bible. But the temple is now the body. Well, it has to be built. If I have the spirit that he told me I have, and you are bearing witness to it, then that means it's already happened. I've already built it. I've already built it. You see it? And what's the name written on the front of that building? I am. Okay? Now, 1 Corinthians, we're going to stay in the same chapter, same book, but we're going to go back to verse 1 because we're going to get some more stuff from here. Watch this. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1. And I, brethren, brothers, other Zionim, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual. I couldn't speak to y'all as like spiritual people, but as unto carnal. Had to tell you carnal things. That's what parables really are. They're carnal things that make spiritual things appear to you. You see? Even as unto babes in Christ, I have fed you with milk and not with meat. For hitherto you were not able to bear it. You see? Like this message today. What did I describe it as? Soul food. You got to chew and eat. It's a lot on your plate. Make you full and make you feel good when you're done. But a baby can't eat no plate of soul food, can he? Nope. He got to drink milk. So most people can't even endure this message that I'm giving because all they think about is me, and they think I'm talking about me to get something for myself. They don't hear why I'm telling you about me. See, the why is the most important thing. The intent of the heart, the intent of why I'm telling you about me, so that you can know what it means for you. Like I've said in the beginning of this message, it means you being saved. My standing up and being the way that I am proves to you that it's time for you to get into this alignment that I'm in so that you can be saved. In other words, it's time for you to get into the ark that I am, the ark that I have built, because it's the same body as Christ, and there's only one body. So come on into this body. Continuing. The verse 3, for you are yet carnal. See, even though they're brothers, they're still carnally minded. And so it is here. I have a lot of brothers that are still carnally minded, not yet grown to maturity yet. It's okay, you will, because the work that he began on you, he should surely finish it. For you are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying, like didn't I describe to you this is what was going to be happening? How could I describe to you it was going to be happening, and now you guys all see it happening, but I'm a liar, or I'm not who I say I am? I said they're going to start fighting each other. Brothers are going to fight against brothers. Fellow laborers are going to start fighting. And y'all about to see that. And now you see it happening. Brothers suddenly turning on each other and tearing each other apart, that were once supposed to be loving each other and upping each other and supporting one another. He says, among you there is envying and strife. See, I use New Breed and Mark the Messenger as examples. You see people, I listen to New Breed and Mark the Messenger. You guys are the only real people on YouTube. But yet here you have Mark the Messenger saying, New Breed, man, you only use me for what you can get out of me. And then New Breed turns around and says, well, Mark the Messenger, your ass ain't nothing but a coward. Do you hear those words, little flock? Them sound like two brothers that ain't got envying and strife between them two? Yeah, they do. Well, this is what we're reading here. You're carnal. That's why y'all niggas is doing that. Because the temptation is the carnal mind. Like I've described to you guys. Maybe y'all think I'm lying. But pretty soon you're going to see that I ain't. For you are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying, strife, divisions, are you not carnal and walk as men? Watch this. For while one saith, I am of Paul. See, I listen to New Breed. And another, I am of Apollos. See, I listen to Mark the Messenger. Y'all hear this? Is it not accurate as hell? Are you not carnal? He says. If y'all do that, ain't y'all carnal as hell? Yep. Who then is Paul? Who is New Breed? And who is Apollos? Who is Mark the Messenger? But ministers by whom you believed. Somebody you heard that motivates you to believe the truth. That's all that they are. You see that there? Watch this. Even as I am gave to every man. You see? I have planted, Apollos watered. So New Breed planted something. I mean, we can't say New Breed, but we'll say New Breed here. New Breed planted something. Mark the Messenger watered it. I'm using them as examples. Y'all see? But Abba gave the increase. Abba is the one who formed the change in you, who caused the change in you. Not New Breed, not Mark the Messenger. And that's why you see them fighting each other, to show you their carnality. That's why it's happening, to show you that they're actually carnally minded and not spiritual minded. That's why New Breed is trying to get some land and do this project on the land and everything, because he's using his carnal mind to try to set something up instead of y'all coming to Zion, where there's salvation. Salvation is not on UP Farms. It's not out there on Pastor Dow's land. It's in Zion, which is where I am. See it? So he's going to show you their vainness and their carnality by making them have strife, envying, and fighting one another, proving that they're carnally minded. Why else are you guys telling them to stop arguing? Because y'all know it's carnal to do that. Why are you guys telling them stop making memes and stop hating on each other and stop fighting each other? Ringo and New Breed and all them niggas. Because you understand that discord between brethren is not beautiful. It's not profitable. You see it? It's carnal. So then what were you listening to? Carnality the whole time. Watch this here. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one. And every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. So the workers are all one. They all say they're working as to one goal. That's what they say. So then why are y'all fighting each other if you're all working for one goal? Christ said, if he be not against me, he is for me. So if you guys are both for Christ, then why are y'all fighting each other? Because you think you're something. That's why. See it? Now, he that planteth and he that watereth are one. Every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor, his own work. For we are laborers together with El. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building. According to the grace of El, which is given unto me as a wise master builder. See it, little flock of ladies? Poochie. Hey, Pooch, Pooch, Poochie. What's up, pup? You doing good today? You doing good today? All right. All right. He says, he is given unto me as a wise master builder. So you see what I was describing about building the temple. Oh, it's a bunch of Poochie. Poochie good and got some friends, y'all. Look. He went and got some friends, y'all. Or some family. One or the other. Ooh, one of them got a collar on, y'all. That light one got a collar on. And she pregnant. She got a collar on and she pregnant. But she's sovereign. She said, I am free. All right, back to the message, y'all. So a wise master builder, Abba made him, he said, I have laid the foundation, and another builded thereon. But let every man take heed how he builded thereon. You see? Now, if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, or stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it. See? Because it shall be revealed by what? Fire. So let's see. Gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble. If you put all those items inside of a furnace, which one will you pull out? Which ones will you pull out? Will you pull out the hay? Will you be able to pull the stubble out of the fire after you've put it in? Will you pull any wood out that you've put in? What about the gold? Alrighty then. Every man's work shall be made manifest. So what you did with your body, your life, I told you, you're a living sacrifice. What you did with yourself is your work. You see? And if any man's work abide, which he has built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So what does that mean, little flock? It means if a man was giving you hay and stubble, talking about he was teaching to you, and then he's exposed for his carnality, that's the fire. It's going to burn up all that hay and that stubble and that bullshit that he was talking that really wasn't profitable to you. And it also is going to humble him when that fire hit his ass and burn away all of the carnality so that the spiritual man that he truly is can come forth. See it? Because acceptable men are made in a furnace. They're cooked in there. That's how they're made. Look at Pooch. You follow me, but then when I come following you, you want to walk away. He said, I ain't walking away, see? All right, y'all. All right, where we at now? Revelation? Let's see. You want to jump to Revelation? Yeah, no, let's stay here. I'm still doing some reading here, y'all. My bad. Okay, 16, my bad. Know ye not that you are the temple of El, and that the spirit of El dwelleth in you, which we read earlier, see? And if any man defile the temple, he shall destroy. Okay, we read that. 18, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. So the true wise man, does he look like a wise man to the worldly eye? Or does he look like a fool? Well, it all depends on what the world says wise is. Well, what does the world say wise is? Let's just chuck it up to one damn thing. Rich. Riches. Becoming abundantly rich. That's what they say it is. So you're going to look like a fool if you give up chasing vain riches, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. You see it? So if he seemed to be wise, let him become a fool, so that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is what? Foolishness with God. See? It's vanity to God for you to try to labor your whole life to get rich. You used your body and your mind to get rich. That's what it means having the mark of the beast. Money was on your mind and you used your hand to do it, which means you used your body. Money was on your mind and you used your body to acquire things for yourself. That's vanity. That's vanity. Give up yourself for your brother. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You can't. You're too busy trying to get for yourself. So that's not a temple of God. You see it? He's not going to reside in a body that's doing that. It has the wrong marks on it. It doesn't have no seal. See it? And Abba says, don't hurt nothing until I have sealed the last flocculator. And once I have sealed the last flocculator, then he's going to destroy. And I want him to. So that's why I'm laboring diligently for that last flocculator to hear me so that he may gather to me where I am and that we can just chill while we watch this flames and shit burn. In other words, watch all of these carnally minded people look like fish out of water. Hopping around, trying to seek for a breath and an escape from the uncomfortable environment that they have now found themselves in. Okay. All right, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. They thought they were slick doing something and they got jacked up doing that. They got took doing that. And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. What did I tell you? So the wise men of the world think vain thoughts. So am I appealing to you as a wise man of the world? No, I'm not. Do you see why? I appeal to you, I appear to you as a fool. Who would want to do what I'm doing where I'm doing it? The world will say, hell no. I want to be in the most lavish, most beautiful, cleanest, most expensive, extravagant place. Why do you deserve that? When you're an asshole, you're envious and hateful as fuck and have committed adultery with other men's wives and did all kind of wickedness. Why should you deserve to be in the best seat? Even though Yahushua said that's what they seek to do. Even though they're full of dead men's bones, they like to sit in Moses' seat. Watch this. Therefore, let no man glory in men. See? Man, Ubri, man, yeah, you were the one, man. Mark the messenger, man. You were the one that helped me, man. You did it, man. And then when they crumble and fall, then what are you going to say? They helped you learn how to fight in envy and strife with your brother? Because that's what they're teaching. By their actions. I'm not letting this get, no, hell no. I'm not letting this nigga get away with nothing. Ain't that what you hear? I ain't letting this nigga get away with it. Hell no. Ain't that what you hear? Right then. Let no man glory in men, for all things are yours, whether Paul, Apollos, Cephas, see that there? Ringo, Mark the Messenger, New Breed, or world, or life, or death, or things present, or things to come, all are yours. And ye are Christ, and Christ is Els. See that there, little flockulators? Go to Matthew chapter 7. Told you it's a smorgasbord over here. Whole lot of food to eat today. Boy, Matthew 7, chapter 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful, what? Works. Work. See the work that I've done, Lord? Isn't that what you're hearing there? Yes. Didn't I tell you about what's vain labor and what labor is actually profitable? Let's see what Yahushua says here. We've done many wonderful works, and then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. I don't know who you are. Never did know you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. So the work you did was unequal, even though you said it was wonderful. What judgment were you using? Probably man's vain imagination. Therefore, whosoever, watch this little flock, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them. Now, if I want to pour wine into a wineskin, I have to compare that to what Yahusha said. Let me see. That means I take a man and pour something into his ear, which is the spout of a man, is his ear. I pour something into his ear, and he receives it into his body, and it causes him to think and feel a feeling concerning what he has ingested. If I give him new wine, he will burst if he is an old wineskin. When I pour the words into his ears, he cannot receive it. I can't drink that, man. I can't drink it, man. I know. See what I'm saying to you, little flockulators? So watch this. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, understand the wine. Now, what did Christ say the wine was? He said, this is my blood. This is my blood. Pay attention to that because it's going to come up later on as we continue reading. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, here's the key, and doeth them, I will liken him to a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. So in order to be wise, you must become a fool, the Bible says. That's why it says we are fools for Christ's sake. We listen to what he tells us, and the people say it's foolishness to do what Yahusha told you concerning this. I'll give you guys an example. When I was a young man, probably about 15 or 16 years old, my dad was going through some financial troubles. He was going between jobs at the time. And he was switching jobs, and he was going through a little bit of hardship. And he was having trouble paying his mortgage at the time. So he goes to his friend, and he asks his friend for some help with his mortgage. He says, when I get back on my feet, everything will be good. I'll take care of you. Everything will be straight. This is his friend. And his friend says, well, I really want to help you and everything, man, but don't you think, you need to be doing this and this and this and this and this? And my dad's like, well, I have faith. I'm not worried about all of that. I'm just asking you if you can help me. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. But I'm not about to do all this extra stuff that you're talking about doing, this carnal stuff you're talking about. I'm going to have faith and trust my God. That's what my father told the man. And the man said, I heard him say it myself. He said to my dad, he said, can we just leave God out of it? And just talk real life, man. That's what he said. Can we just talk real life, man, and leave God out of this? That's what he said to my dad. And my dad says, no. And that was the end of their conversation. And my dad lost that house. You see, which looks foolish to his friend. See, if you would have did the things I told you to do, you'd still have that house. And now my dad has a way better, more beautiful house today that he live in peacefully. See it today, little flockulators? Continuing. So the man that took the wine in and then did what Yahusha told him to do, he's a wise man. Why? Because the rain descended, the wise man which built his house upon a rock, solid foundation like Paul was talking about there, see? And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house. That's called temptation, little flock. I told you, the outside circumstances appears in a way to make you believe that it is something terrible happening. But a man who has built his house on a solid rock doesn't see the storm, the wind, and the waves, or any damn thing like that because that's wisdom. How do I know? Did you read the book of Ecclesiastes? What does it say about a man who pays attention to the wind and the waves? It says, let him not think that he should receive anything. Did you know that? So the rain descended, flood came, wind blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not. Told you. That, what I described, is called temptation. It's the same thing I described to you when I said they came to me telling me that this is what's going to happen to you, grandson. You're going to be locked up for this amount of time in this place. You're not going anywhere. That was them beating upon my house. That's what they were doing. But it didn't fall because I kept the wine that I had received. Ask the Father, ask in my name. I am free. And then it was. And there was nothing that they said that actually came to pass. So the wind and the waves didn't actually knock the house down, even though it looked as though it was trying to. It tried to, but it didn't. You can huff and puff, little wolf in sheep's clothing, until your jaws are aching, sore as hell, and your face is blue, and you're bent over with your hands on your knees, looking like Megan Thee Stallion. You can do all of that shit, and my house is still going to stand, and I'm going to be on the and looking out the front door at your ass, going, "Keep blowing. Go ahead, blow." You see? Now, Paul said the foundation is Christ. Christ said, "I'm the foundation. If you keep with my sayings." So the sayings are the blood. You hear that there, little flock? That's the blood that covers you during the hour of temptation. I've just described it to you. You're going to be locked down for 90 days. Well, then how come I'm out in less than 40 days if what you said was true? No, you just gave me a suggestion. And had I gone along with your suggestion, then that means that I'm not founded on a rock. My freedom is not founded on a rock. If you can only speak some words to me and take me out of my freedom, then it's very fickle. It's straw. It's hay. So it burn up when the fire come and test it. The fire is the wind and the waves, and it's just a test. That's what fire represents. A test to purge, to see if you're acceptable. See? Nah. What did he say about the other man? He says, "And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine," verse 26, "and doeth them not," so he didn't take the blood, "shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon sand. And the rain descended, flood came, wind blew, and beat on that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it." Oh, they told me 90 days? Fuck! That's what people do, don't they? That's what you have done in your life, haven't you? You saw something or heard something, and that shit made you go, fuck! It made you worry. It made you stress. That ain't being of good cheer. That ain't rejoicing. So if you're supposed to be doing good cheer and rejoicing, why the hell do you let your circumstance make you go, fuck, and get scared? Carnally mind does that. That's why the carnal mind is death. That's why. Isn't this easy to be understood here at the School of Marvelous Light? It is. All right. Great was the fall of that house. Shit, it wasn't founded on nothing. So he just goes around with the wind blew. He blew with it. Isn't that what a house do? When the wind blow against it, it blows away with the wind. That's you. When you heard some news or you saw something, you went along with it. I'm not. I'm standing firm on my foundation. I ain't going no damn way. I'm free. Nigga can say what he want. Grandson, why you saying you free if you're sitting right here talking to me? I'm only here to help you be free because I'm free. How does a rescue mission work? So there's some Marines that have been surrounded and they're stuck and can't get out. And they need to be rescued. So the Air Force sends in a elite unit called Pararescue Maroon Beret. And the Pararescue comes to where the Marine is to get him and lift him out to safety. He can't rescue him if he don't go where the person who needs to be rescued is. So though I am a free man, I am a pararescue, in other words. I'm coming to you to where you are, which is in that prison you are, surrounded and can't get out. You're trapped. I came to liberate you. But just because I'm where you are doesn't mean I'm trapped. I'm not. I'm the rescuer. I'm the pararescueman. Maybe y'all can hear it, maybe you can't. All right. Now, Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12. Start at verse 1. "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations. Stop. What did we read about that branch earlier? It says he shall sit and rule as a king and a priest. Now, for people that feel strange when I say this, saying, well, man, you're trying to take glory from Yahusha, man. That's Yahusha going to be sitting there. Yahusha's going to tell you something later on. We're going to read, and they're going to make that make more sense to you why I'm saying I'm sitting in that throne. Okay? Just calm down and be patient and wait and hear the whole matter before you get all in your feelings and want to click off and call blasphemy. Just chill out and wait a minute and let God's word tell you the truth. So now he's caught up to his throne to rule all nations with a rod of iron. What was the rod again? With the rod of his mouth, he shall slay the wicked and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth. So this is the same rod. And her child was caught up to love, El, and to his throne. See, that's where he rules from. And the woman fled into the wilderness, and she had the place prepared of El that they should feed her there 1,200 square days. Okay? And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. And they prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, carnal mind. He was cast out into the earth, and the angels were cast out with him. Y'all hear that there? All right. Verse 10. Watch, little flock. Now I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. So, when was salvation come? When the man was caught up and the dragon was cast down. When right thought was caught up to the consciousness of man and the carnal mind was cast down out of the consciousness of man, heaven. Come on! Then he went to make war with the woman, earth, and the seed of that woman, feelings. He can't affect your thoughts anymore because his place has been cast out by the right thoughts you hear here at the School of Marvelous Light. You're like, damn, I can't deny this shit is true. Shit, there may some right thoughts. He's saying, damn. Whew. So now your feelings are going to get war. Well, fuck him. He still ain't mean shit. He still ain't nobody. Look at him. He's poor. He can't even talk right. Look at him cussing and shit, using all kind of vulgar language. Can't be. That's you warring with your feelings. Can't you see it right there, little flock? That's the dragon warring with the woman seed. The feelings. Come on, y'all. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Okay? And that's what you see happening with these men. The carnal mind. Just like Paul said, because they're carnal, they got envying and strife going on. And that's what I warned you all back in December was coming, and now it's here. How can I have warned you all that if I'm not outside of it being right thought? Okay, so now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. Watch this. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. What is his blood? You heard it earlier. His sayings. So how did you overcome the carnal mind, little flock? With the sayings of Yahusha. That's how. See it? And by the word of their testimony. So that means they're giving you examples of how they have actually overcome using his name in the words that he taught. He said to do things in his name, so I do. I am this and I am that. Now try to tell me that I'm not. You're going to have a hard time toppling this house. It won't fall. It just won't. So try all you want. Like I told the wolf to keep blowing until he turned blue. All right. And they love not their lives. Living sacrifice, like I explained earlier. Legos. Unto the death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, you heavens and you that dwell in them. Right thought. You see it? Rejoice, you who have actually come to Zion of right thought. Rejoice, like I keep telling you to do. He says, but you that dwell on the earth, see, carnal, dwelling in your feelings, what's going to happen to you? Woe unto you and of the sea. See, emotions. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's what I'm trying to describe to you guys. He's angry. So he's going to try to work your feelings up. You're lonely. Shit, say it. Make your house fall. You're lonely. You're sad. You're depressed. Fucking say it. He's trying to get your feelings to feel it based off circumstances. He can't deal with your mind because you've heard right thought. You don't believe that with your thoughts. It's your feelings he's after. It's your feelings he's now after. So protect your wife, little flock. Protect her and keep her from the wiles of that evil one. And pray that Abba keep you from temptation, like Yahushua told you to pray. See, if you keep his saying, you'll overcome. So he says, and they overcome by the blood of the Lamb, like we said earlier, see? By his sayings. You see? Verse 13, and when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, feelings, which brought forth the man-child. See it? He persecuted the feelings that brought forth the man-child, because that's how the man-child was brought forth, through a great feeling within, called a rapture. That's what a great feeling within is. It's a rapture, it's feeling. That's what brought about the man-child. Okay, let's see. The son of promise, Isaac, what brought him about? It says Abraham believed God. Well, that believing God, that means that he felt a feeling, or he didn't believe God if he didn't feel no exalted high feeling, but he did. And so since he did, he got what he sought for, which was a son, grandson of right thought. Same process. See? All right. I'm trying to see if there was anything else I wanted from that. Now, let's go to back to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. We're getting near the end here, y'all. We've been going for a while now. Thank y'all for y'all who have continued to listen to the whole matter and persevere. And I'm very grateful for those who are here who have endured through this long message happily. And it's like, no, don't end it. Let's just keep going. Them the ones that's on the right track. They're the ones that got the right heart. See it? 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Start at verse 13. There hath no temptation. So wind, waves, try to tear your house down. Happens to every man. Let's see. There have no temptation taken you, but such is common to man. See? Such as is common to man. So wind and waves always try to blow a man's house down. So it ain't just you he talking about. It's other people too. Let's see what else to say here, no flock. But El is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation make a way of escape also, that you may be able to bear it. See? You see it? So temptation is not uncommon, but he wants to make you think you're in a storm and you're the only one going through it. I'm hearing people say that right now. Why is the devil attacking me so hard and so bad? What did I ever do to deserve such a thing? You see it? It's common, man. You see? Go back to Revelation chapter 3 and then we'll be done. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly, and hold fast that which you have, that no man take your crown. Take what you know away from you. Your crown, you shall sit and rule. So the grandson who's going to sit and rule as a king and a priest, who is sitting and ruling as a king and a priest, is telling you all how to obtain the same thing so that you can sit in the throne with me, because that's what Yahushua did. I'm only doing what Yahushua did. You see what I'm saying to you? I'm only going to remind you what he told you. So, like I said, big smorgasbord. Y'all eat up and enjoy it. All to the full. Ain't no limit over here, y'all. Y'all can have as much as y'all want. So y'all be blessed today. Salawam.